Locked render camera with cylindrical mapping.
Hello folks, we have created our Render Me camera down here so that we've set up our point of view, and we concentrate on modeling, texturing, and lighting just that cone of view from that camera. We need to create a background image, and in the past we have used planar mapping. Now we're going to use cylindrical mapping. I'll be using a polygon and a cylinder. I'm going to go to the top view. This way I'll have a good idea of what I'm doing. So I'm going to create polygon, primitives, and cylinder. I have my interactive creation on right here. I like that. I like being in charge. So here's my cylinder, and I'm going to create a big old cylinder that's even bigger than my landscape. I'm going to tap the space bar, come over here to the perspective viewport, holding down Alt. I am rotating the viewport, and now I am pulling this up over the top. If I go to the wireframe, you can see that my little world is encompassed in this cylinder. I'm going to see what it looks like if I center it in the virtual world, because my landscape, my land, is also centered in the virtual world. So I could probably raise it up there so I have more above than behind. Now I'm going to use this as a backdrop. I'll be deleting the top and the bottom and a great deal of the sides. And I want this to look smooth, so I'm going to put 60 subdivisions around the axes. You could even put more. Let's put 120. We're going to be deleting most of them, so that'll be fine. You know me, I like a nice normal number here, so I'm just going to change these to something nice. So there's my cylinder. I'm going to return to the top viewport. My cylinder is selected right there. I should probably rename it BG for background. So I rename it right there. I'm going to right click and go to faces, and I'm going to marquee select. All I have to do is get the very center. I'm going to select the entire top and the entire bottom of pie-shaped faces. So I'm going to press, hold, and drag. And you can see that there's a box created right there. I want to make sure I get all of the ones on the top. And there they are. I happen to have gotten all the ones on the bottom as well. So you can see if I switch to my perspective viewport, just have a shell hanging out there. Now this is the fun part. We're going to be using more than one viewport at a time. We have our perspective there, and I also want to look through the Render Me camera. I need to check and make sure that we're not deleting any of these faces right here. So I can select, say, that one. Where's that located? I can tap the space bar to come in. So that's the one that's not seen by the camera. I'm going to use the lasso select here. And I'm going to get that guy, come around to the other side. I'm going to be more judicious over here and not grab as many. Let me go back to my 4 viewports and look through Render Me, so I don't have any selected in this view. That's important. I'm just going to hit delete on the keyboard. Let's see where this side starts. So right there. I can delete all of these. Oh, not quite. I'm holding down Shift to deselect. I'm going a little bit further. So all those I can delete. Right now, we have our camera and the background behind where the camera sees. We don't have anything else that we don't need. Okay, I'm going to right click, go back to object mode. There it is. I can put on my shaded. One thing you'll notice is that it is black on one side and sort of the Lambert gray on the other. This is it. Reverse normals right there. They took the word normals out, so it's hard to find. You gotta see it right there. So it's mesh display normals reverse out. I need to put on a cylindrical map on my portion of cylinder. It is selected. It's green. I'm going to go UVs and cylindrical mapping. I like to go to the attributes because I like to name it. That way it's a little easier to get it back. In the past, if you didn't actually create a named UV, it was difficult to capture again. So this is my UV set for the BG. It's a cylindrical mapping, and I've renamed it UV set BG. So there it is. It's this strange gizmo, and what we want to do is line up this portion. If you can see, there's only half of it showing. You can close it if you want by grabbing these little red things, but we want to line that shape up with our portion of the cylinder itself. So one way to do that is to grab this little T down here. It's a red T. It's always hanging out somewhere. If you click on that, you'll find probably tools that make a little more sense to you. I'm going to pull this over and position it. If I click on a box, a scale box, I get the scale box in the middle, so I can scale it up. If I click on this circle that's outside of our axis tripod, then I get the rotate, and I can rotate it, line it up with the existing sphere, just nudging it here and there, and I think it's good. I just have to pull it in. It's a little bigger. So I'm going to return to this T on the bottom. If I click it, everything disappears. But that gives me an opportunity to show you how to get that projection back. If your cylindrical projection did not work, do not make a second one. It's located right here on the right click, UV sets, and then come way down here. Here's your polycylindrical projection right there, and that gets that thing back. So if you deselect, say, heck, where'd my cylindrical projection go? Right click, UV sets, come down here to your projection. That's one of the great reasons why we name it, so it's there. So I'm going to grab these little red ones in here and pull them back a little. Let's see if this one is the height. Yeah, I can still pull it in. Woo, that. I like these to fit pretty nicely. There. Maybe move it down. So what I've done is I've tried to get this thing lined up with my cylinder as best as I can. And some people can get this directly on top. It looks great. I'm going to put a new material on this. So I'm right clicking on the cylinder, assign a new material. I don't want my background to be shiny, so I'm going to get a Lambert and call it the BG. This is a new Lambert. It's not Lambert 1. We never changed Lambert 1. And we're calling it the background. It's assigned to the cylinder. Here in the color channel, this little checker box over here, we're going to click on that and we're going to go get a picture. Mine is the fourth from the top. There it is. I happen to know a really long path to get to my picture. It's called Forest. This should be located in the source image folder of your project folder. So it's on there. You can sort of see it on there. I do have my materials activated in the viewport right there, and it is a little funny. Select that cylinder portion, right click, UV sets, and go to UV linking. This little box should pop up. If your file is in here properly, it'll show up right here. If there's no file here, you did not put a file in the color channel. Select the bottom here and the bottom here, and you'll see that just by clicking on those two bottom items, it pops into frame. So the idea is that when we look through the Render Me camera, we see a nice background like our house is in a forest, and I can tell that I need to move mine down just a little bit so that it really does look more foresty. So right about there is going to have to work for me. That was a lot of work, so I'm going to save.